You gotta be in shape for this. You getting blown by, your shot getting blocked. Like if you ain't in shape, like it's gonna show everything.
It's gonna get exposed.
You can't hide in 3-on-3. I listen to music a lot. I freestyle in my car.
You want to do something on the show?
No, I can't do that right now. I can't do that right now.
You want to do that with timeout? Okay.
Yeah, I need a timeout.
Everybody, welcome back to the Wide Network. We're taking a timeout today. We're gonna take a timeout with someone that we all are fans of. You guys want to get to know my guy D. Wright, a.k.a. Darrell Wright, Chris Johnson. You ain't even got a nickname yet. You ain't cool enough yet.
Got the hoops at the end.
Yeah,
Johnson hoops.
Just win, just hoop. We all that. But we're joined by Chelsea Gray, a.k.a. the Point God. Welcome to the show, Chelsea.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
That's where we're gonna start.
Yeah.
Do you like that nickname? Point God is like that's one of the coldest.
That's
one of the coldest nicknames to be called a point guard. What does that mean to you to be called a point guard?
First of all, the way it was kind of constructed is different because Candace just made a post about my birthday and said happy birthday to my point guard. Like it wasn't supposed to be this big thing, and then we spell it not G-O-D, it's G-A-W-D. Like, you know, it's kind of different.
Okay.
And so I was like, I know, I'm messing with y'all mind real quick.
There you go. Educate us. Educate us.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different, but I kind of like grew into the name a little bit, and now it's on a shoe. You know, when people see me, they know me as that and not Chelsea. They'll say that first. So I like it. I love it.
I love it.
No, that's a fire nickname.
It's fire.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So who did you watch? Who did you admire growing up? You know, as a youngin from your hometown, like as a point guard. Who did you want to model your game after?
It was like a mixture of a couple things, right? I love the passing of Magic Johnson. Like I was young, but I would go back. I would watch the videos all the time, and like he was a taller point guard. Like how do you get passes off, and he's taller than a bunch of people into a post up? I watched AI growing up. Like it was a family thing. His crossover and like the illusion that you think he's going the entire different direction, and his crossover was something else. I would watch Chris Paul and the way he would operate in the mid post. So I kind of just took a little bit from everybody, and then on the women's side, I watched Tisha Pinocchero. That was at the
Right,
same
that's my
was
dog.
smooth, and like she don't get the recognition.
No,
you
she
know what I'm
don't.
saying? But she kind of changed the way you look at passing, like before me and stuff like that. So I looked at those all the time.
That's fire.
So we're here. We're on location at Unrivaled. We in the studios, but we're here at Unrivaled where you guys have been for 2.5 months.
Yeah.
We're here preparing for the Final Four, getting ready to prepare for the championship real soon. So we're thankful for the Wide Network to be able to be here. You guys are here, and y'all didn't, when the season first started, nobody thought that y'all would be here. Y'all started off a little bad.
They had us ranked 6th, out the playoffs,
right.
packing up, everything.
Yeah.
And we came in like 1-4. We was like, all right, just stay steady.
Yeah.
We would get announced. There was
Couple claps.
just a couple claps, crickets a little bit. Went on a winning streak. All of a sudden, we had more Rose fans. We had more T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember coming out of a game one time. I hit a game winner, and I came out. I was like, they kind of fucking with us now.
Yeah.
They fucking with us now.
Wow. Now they fucking with us.
Yeah,
I
our
like
whole
that,
vibe
Rose.
and the way we kind of excel, like a winning streak. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy, kind of the way it happened.
Yeah. And so, how did you get there? Like, how did you guys go from 1-4 start to now, obviously, been in the Final Four?
We're like one of the only teams in Unrivaled that don't have like a current teammate, and so we were trying to figure out like our chemistry. Where do you like this? Where do you like that?
Important.
Like defense, everything. Like you got athletes, you have competitors, you have skilled players, but if the chemistry is not right, you'll lose
No doubt.
a lot of the time. And so it just took us a little bit of time to get used to it. And we were good. We had to get in like game shape a little bit better, like knocking down shots. We would get shots, but not knocking them down. So I think it just took a little bit of time.
Being a point guard and thinking about the shot clock, 18 seconds,
Yeah.
right? Talk about pace.
You got to be in shape for this. You can't come in here with no doubt. First of all, like you getting blown by, your shot getting blocked. Like if you ain't in shape, like it's gonna show everything.
It's gonna
Like
get
you
exposed.
can't hide in 3-on-3, and it's full court. Like you have a turnover 9 times out of 10 is going back for a
It's a
layup.
bucket,
Like
yeah.
transition defense is nowhere to be found.
Right,
It's only
right.
2 people.
Right.
If you turn it over and fall, it's done for. So
Oof,
it's
important.
Ooh.
Shot
yeah.
selection is important.
It's important.
Yeah.
And then it's like some people, they'll get fouled. They don't call it. They fall on the ground. It's a 3-on-2. the other way. That's a drill you warm up for practice.
Right,
Right.
Like
right,
you're
right.
doing that in the game.
That is. How do you
Yeah, it's
get to your mid range? Because your mid range is like.
There's not as much help. Like you got to go back to your post player.
So are you doing it off the dribble?
Yeah, I'm off the dribble all day. Get to my spot. One little big toe in the paint. Sometimes kind of get a little rhythm.
Yeah.
Get to my fade. Sometimes the fade is just a natural fade. I don't know. Sometimes I don't need to do it.
Right.
It just feels natural for
You
real.
work on that.
Yeah.
You know, being a vet in the league, in the W, and now coming here to something super new, what do you think this is going to help your game going into the season this year?
Well, one, I'm healthy. That's a
Okay.
big thing.
Yes.
Like last year, I was not healthy whatsoever. And then two, in really good shape. Not just like physically, but mentally, like able to go through a whole game, miss a couple shots, go back to it. And then like your reads and stuff, like at the end of the day, when you go 5-on-5, like it's three people making a decision to kind of impact the other two. And so making those decisions with no other help, like incorporating that, I can't wait to pass to the person in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to pass to somebody in the corner. Well, I mean, y'all see 3-on-3 all the time. Like, what do y'all think?
I think and we think that it's a major part in development for basketball, period.
Yeah.
Because everything is done in big triangles or small triangles.
Yeah.
And when you started talking about extra defenders, if you remove those two, now you actually get a chance to really make reads.
Yeah.
So when I teach pick and roll to point guards and I'm trying to get them to see that roller, whether he's rolling 50% or like a shake up, like when you lift out of the corner, I'm able to read that low guy to see if you're going to come over and tag it or you're going to stunt me. And the really good defenders can play both.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to read that, and then you got to know how to pass it.
Right.
And so you need that situation. So when we're developing, I try to rinse and repeat that situation. So it could be a little boring to people, but the 3-on-3 game is like.
Yeah, I was explaining, like, when I first got to college, and I was young, right? So I came in with 3 or 4 other guys who was the same way. We'd play 5-on-5 versus the veteran guys that was there. And because we were young and athletic, we would smash them. So we thought we were better than them already. We thought we were better than the guys that were starting. They put us in that half-court 3-on-3, and they tore our ass up. We didn't know what to do. We couldn't go, like you said, you coming off a pick and roll, you got a great pick and roll person. What do you do now? Are we going to put 2 on the ball? Are we going to go under? Like, we don't really know how to get over pick and rolls. It exposes you, right?
Everything.
It exposes you in so many different ways to know, like, where to be, and especially if the other three, they're great offensive players and it has no weaknesses out there. What do you do? Especially when you got someone like you coming off the pick and roll. What am I going to do?
You got to pick your poison.
You got to pick your
agree.
poison.
It's also like when you incorporate 5-on-5, like the easy bounce pass that's normally there, like you have now 2 other defenders that you kind of got to incorporate. So I think like going into training camp, there's going to be a little bit of adjustment to players going back to 5-on-5 because there's not as much space. Like
Interesting.
you got to be able to move it, get off of it a little bit differently. And so I'm interested to see kind of how it translates.
You're in really good shape.
Yeah.
Do you think this is the best shape you've been in going into a WNBA season?
It's probably tied between this year and then the year going into 2023. Those are my
Really
2
good
best
shape.
shape of my life. So it's probably a tie between the 2 in different ways.
That means there's going to be some scary hours out there.
I can't wait.
I
text Becky the other day. I said, I'm locked in.
Yeah, it's going to be scary.
I'm locked in.
We're scared.
Yeah, that's good to hear about you being locked in because your team, the Aces, you guys have been dominant, in my opinion, over the last couple of years.
Facts.
Playing with one of the best players in the world,
Man.
Asia Wilson.
Great.
So what do you think you guys are up for this season? You know, trying to get back to championship formation, coming up a little short this year, going for back-to-back-to-back. So, like, what's the mindset? Like, what's your vision on this season coming up?
It's very different. Like, we got new people, new faces coming in that's going to play a heavy part into making this puzzle all kind of fit. We got Jewel Lloyd, right? We lost Kelsey Plum. And so now we got Cheyenne Parker. Like, we got Tiffany Mitchell, Dana Evans. Like,
Shout out to Cheyenne.
Yeah.
That's our dog right there. Shout out to
like
Cheyenne.
we got different pieces, and I'm excited for it, man. And, like, Becky's been in grind mode, watching film, like trying to get people together. We got a different coaching staff. So these pieces, like, they're already working back in Vegas, right? We have some people here coming back, and I'm just kind of excited to see how it all fits together, honestly. But I think we're gonna shock a lot of people because there's been a lot of noise and all these things.
What's the noise? What kind of
noise?
Hey.
We're
We're not gonna be the same. It might be done for the
They got point guard and they got one of the best players.
Come on now.
I agree.
Tough.
So
That's
you
not
normally-
on me. I didn't say
You
it.
normally build around.
It's greatness fatigue. That's what we call it. It's getting fatigued of greatness. You guys won 2 in a row, went for 3. People don't like it's fatigue. They want to see someone
I
else
like
do
that.
it.
I'm gonna use that quote.
Greatness
Yeah, it's a
fatigue.
greatness fatigue. We get it like with LeBron. We get greatness fatigue. We see it all the time. And so we want to pick apart what
He
he.
onto something.
We always. That's
He's
what we
onto
do.
something.
I got a question. So I was just thinking about this, and we talked about this. So you're in the best shape of your life, but when I go back, you've been to 3 finals in a row. Obviously, you just lost in the finals this year, but then you went to the Olympics.
No, we lost the semis.
You lost the semis. Sorry, you lost the semis. And then you went to the Olympics, right? Obviously, that's in Paris. It's a lot. It's a lot in that. You guys win. Then you come and now you're here. You're here to Unrivaled. A whole different pace, like you said, more speed. You got to be in shape for this. Then now in about a month or so, month and a half,
about 4.
you go right back to training camp. Are you concerned? Are you concerned about burnout? Are you concerned about your body? Are you concerned about your mental? Talk to us about it.
Well, the good thing about Unrivaled in the W season, you have a month before you even start again. So it's like you get to come back to it with fresh eyes. Like if you don't want to be in the gym all day, the ramp up like those last 2.5 weeks. Like you have some time to kind of play with and get away from it a little bit. You don't have to be in the gym. You don't have to see the same people all the time, talk about the same thing. So I'm excited for that journey and that part of it. Of course, health-wise, like physically, I'm concerned and like make sure that I'm doing the right things because if we're healthy, we're scary, man.
Yeah,
if we're healthy, we're in the right mindset, we'll be in a good place.
Yeah. So what do you do? Like in between all of that,
Yeah.
all that plan that you did, what do you do to keep to work on your game, and what do you do to keep your body in the place that you needed to be able to perform on the levels that you need to perform at, and all the things I just named?
Man, I think it's a balance, honestly. Like, I got to find something outside of basketball that makes me happy. Like, I got to find something in a mental space that's totally different, whether it's been music, it's been my son, it's been my family, it's been cooking. So something outside of that. And then training-wise, I'm on court, but I'm not pounding all the time. You switch up your workouts. Everybody been in Pilates the last, 5 years. Everybody's like, you go to Pilates, you go to Pilates. So it's like, you find different workouts to kind of do that doesn't require a lot on your body, but you're still
challenge you.
It still challenge you in a different mental space. I know he be waking up and trying to get me up at like 6 a.m. for
Go to
Pilates.
yoga,
I'm just like, man, Pilates still gonna be there at 10.
Right. Can we do a 10 a.m. class?
Right.
That's him.
That's me.
Hot yoga. I'm just like, I'm saying we can get the same work with a little bit more sleep.
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you. She trains. As all of this is going on, and we're looking at WNBA, Olympics, she on our line. See, I'm trying to get in the gym.
Yep.
Trying to get in the gym.
Every
The one
time
thing
I'm
that
in LA.
every time she's in LA, but she a vet to me, so it's like when I hit the court with her, it doesn't need a lot of pounding.
Yeah.
It's about detail.
Right.
And it's about either trying to take another element to take her to the next level, or it's tightening something that she wanted to really focus on.
Okay, so you know her game, right?
Yes.
What is the next level, right? We're talking about someone with a nickname point guard. Somebody won 2 championships, Olympic gold medalist. What is the next level?
I need that next championship.
How do we get there? How do we get to the next level for Chelsea at this point in her career?
Yeah, because she's a 3-level player. She can shoot it, she can drive it, she can post you, and she can finish. I think as point guards, the ability to be able to finish in the paint is probably one of the number one things on my board. The hook shot, the floater, the different variations of finishing on the extended side, not all the way as a layup. That level 2 that we talked about.
So growing her offensive package?
Just in the finishing package.
Okay.
Because during the season, she'll do those standard shooting, 1-dribble pull-ups, pick and roll. So when she see me, it would only be built around using the backboard, 3-level finishes.
I agree.
It'll be the 3-level finishes, the
about.
different wrist action, the scoops, how to play it on the top level when you're off balance and stuff like that. Things that she'll make when she's going to the basket, and she'll be falling down, and then it'll be level 3 finish.
Right.
And that'll win a game for her.
Okay.
So just that area.
And then being a little bit, obviously, as you get older, you want to be more efficient.
Yes.
Right? Like, and so with all of that repertoire, you want her to be a little bit more efficient.
Super
doing
efficient,
that, right?
Yeah.
Because she already have these levels.
Yes.
And so now it's just about how do you
It's the
tighten
touch,
these levels
it's the
up.
tightening, it's the repetition, and it's the detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that, and especially because a lot of people know I'm gonna get to my spot with that elbow pull up.
Yeah.
And
Can't
so
stop
now
it.
when they already
Cannot stop
they
it.
stop at the elbow a little bit. All right, let me in and out you,
What's
go
that
to
counter?
the paint and go to the counter. And so I think that's an area that I can grow for sure.
I love that. I love that. You talked about in the midst of this, you talked about everything that you have on your plate in a sense, right? And people don't really look at it. When they see the athlete, they see the jersey. They don't get to see. They don't know the work, and they definitely don't know the normalcy of mom life, being a wife, those responsibilities that are is priority. In a lot of instances, priority number one. Talk about that in your life. Getting married, having your son.
Yeah.
How has that changed you, or how has that helped you in this place that you're trying to go to?
Yeah, so we got married in 2019.
Okay.
All right, let me not get that wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
right.
Not on this show.
Not
You can't
today.
go on there no more. Don't do that.
No, we've been married since 2019. We've been together since 2014. So this has been my person as I've grown in the league. Outside of it, like she's seen me grow every single area, and so she's been my rock and everything. Like those moments where it's hard, that like everybody don't get the back scene footage of me crying because like, dang, could I have made one more shot? Maybe we won't be in the finals.
Right.
Or maybe we will be in the finals. So she's been there from the beginning, and so I never take for granted what she has done for like my career. Like you see the hours in the basket and you see the health and stuff, but outside of that, she takes care of everything I don't have to worry about.
That's what's up.
And when you have somebody like that, like you have the ultimate confidence to just go hoop.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people have that.
Yeah.
And so I've been blessed to be able to have that. We had our son this past year.
Congratulations.
And thank you,
Congrats.
thank you, Lennox. He's
Yeah,
a-
Lennox. Shout out
Yeah,
to Lennox.
yeah.
Yeah, he gonna be
He got,
hooping.
yeah, I'm trying. He already got a little basketball hoopy. I say go get a bucket. Put it in there. He's a little dancer.
Yeah.
But man, he after a game or after a practice, a hard day, you go home and he's like ready to play. You're just like you kind of forget.
Yep.
It's that moment of that I need of forgetting. My wife, she played basketball. She understands it. She understands like my mentality. I got to be up watching film. Like she understands that. He doesn't. He's just like, okay, well you're home now. Let's go play.
go.
So it's been a little different.
The name of the show is Timeout. We think it's very important to have moments in space for timeout. With everything you've done, you've accomplished in the game of basketball, now you have your family life the way that you have it, and that becomes a timeout for you. How do you navigate that, though? How do you navigate leaving things here and not bringing it home?
It's hard. It's hard. 'Cause when I get home, it depends, right? Day, game, practice, schedule, traveling in. It takes a great balance between me and my wife and a communication about the game before I even get home sometimes.
Communication.
Yeah.
And she understands that. She's great, man. I can't thank her enough of what she's been allowed me to kind of process and move throughout my career. But Lennox, he don't care about nothing.
Nothing.
When I get home, he's like, I got these blocks, I got this ball, I got this, I got that, and we waking up. What's up?
What's up?
Like, let's go play. And I love that part of it.
Yeah.
Like, I like to wake up and hang out with him and just not even think about basketball. Like, just think about, like, what he's seeing in life is seeing life through his eyes. So you can't really take it home, but there's parts of your life that Tepessa has allowed me to, like, bring home and share with her. My frustrations, my joys.
It's important for athletes and for people to be able to take a mental timeout. Mm-hmm. So, like, this is something that, like, I'm really big into. And speaking about show timeout and a mental timeout, I think there's several ways of taking a timeout. Mm-hmm. In the game of basketball, you can have a 30-second timeout. You can have a full timeout. You have a media timeout. You have an injury timeout. Free throw is a timeout. It's 10 seconds. And so when I started looking at different strategies to apply to teach people how to take mental timeouts, that's what I looked at. I looked at the game we love, and then I looked at the game of life. And I was like, someone coming out of practice, you're competitive, you want to win. When you get in that car, you've taken timeouts.
Yeah.
You're sitting there maybe before you leave the parking lot, or maybe when you pull it into the garage, you've chosen to take a mental timeout.
Yeah.
In some instance, people don't have a skill set to take that mental timeout, and they take that stuff into the house.
Yeah, I used to do that too. I used to be in the car like,
Man.
No music,
Yeah.
just driving.
Yeah.
Like, just thinking about it. That's funny that you mentioned it during a game, because a lot of times I won't be on the free throw line, and it's my time to like go down. Like, especially if we're shooting, obviously I gotta be there if we're not shooting. But if we're shooting, I go down normally, or I'm taking a second, I'm going to the side. I also have like this thing where I kick my shoe. It's like my reset timeout, and so there's little things that I've tried to like figure out that's kind of been my reset. And my Lennox, Tepessa, they're my reset. They're my time. My family that comes in, my brothers, my parents, they're my reset. Time away from them.
sound like you got your podcast name. Go ahead, keep
Yeah.
going.
There you go, right there.
I like how you plugged that.
Sound like you got your podcast name.
Yeah,
But
it's my
need
reset.
that. You need that, man. I feel like we've all been blessed hearing your story to have that partner and have those family members that understand, that we need to decompress and get away from the game and bring in positive energy. I was lucky enough to, find my wife at a young age, my third year in the league after all these ups and downs. So I had that person I knew I could talk to. I had that person that I let give that input of what she saw. So it's so important to build that circle and, finding that right person for you to help you get through whatever it is, whether things are going good or, a roller coaster ride for you. So that's dope to hear.
And my career hasn't always been like at the pinnacle and top of the Olympian and stuff. I was hurt, injured, like no minutes in one game, and then playing, and I haven't looked back. And then there's times injuries coming back, and like the hardest time was I hurt my foot in game 4 or game 3 going.
Oh, remember that? Yeah.
Going for the champion. Imagine, like, I had a great year all year.
Yeah.
That was when I was in the best shape. Great, and I had to bring at the hotel. Oh, I was done for. In my circle, Tepessa, like, great.
Yeah.
Got past it.
Yeah. What I know, D-Wright, you was talking about a couple of things that Chelsea does, but outside of what we get to see, what else are you a part of? What else do you do? How else do you spend your time?
I cook a lot. I like cooking. It's like my escape. Like, I go in there and create something, even though I might have done it before, but it's like you put your own spin on it. I rarely ever use like the little scoopers and like you need 1 teaspoon of this. Like, I create something else.
Eyeball.
Yeah, eyeball everything. I need a pinch. What is a pinch? Like, when people say just a pinch of salt.
Right. Like, what is that?
Like, what if my pinch is bigger than your pinch? So that's what I use. I listen to music a lot. Different types. In my car, in those times, I freestyle in my car.
Okay.
There you go.
You want to do something on the
Bars.
show?
Nah, I can't do that right now. I can't do that right now.
You want to do that with
right now.
timeout? Okay. That's all
Yeah, I
right.
need a timeout.
Hey, you know what though? Is there a WNBA hooper that is putting out music? Like in the NBA right now, we got NBA hoopers that are putting out
Some of them don't need to put out, but
Yeah.
yeah, some of
music.
them are.
But is there a WNBA player that's putting out music?
They
Like,
have, but like I wouldn't say that it's on the level like where the men.
It ain't went mainstream.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
no,
hasn't
fact.
went
I wonder if
mainstream.
there's any women with
That can
that can
sing.
sing.
Yeah, I'm
Like
pretty
with a
sure.
vocal.
Jordan Canada can sing.
Oh, Jordan Canada.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Jordan Canada can sing. Natisha Heidemann can sing. Like, there's little things, but like a little bit not as like mainstream, I would say.
I know you've been working with the NBC Bay Area. I've been spending the last 5 years doing pre and post game for the Warriors. Talk about that. You transitioning to media, talking and giving your input on what you see as a high IQ player. So how's that been for you? And do you see yourself continue to grow in that space?
It's been super dope. Like, you look at when you're commentating or you're in studio, like, you got to look at it kind of from a different lens. But at the same time, like, you've been in those positions. So you're probably like, this is what they saw in this read, and that's why they made the turnover. Or like, that's a good shot in transition. That's what's, like, sometimes you lose a game something that happened in the third quarter because now you lose momentum. And so talking about that at halftime and post game is pretty cool. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to do that with the Kings and create that partnership. And it's been cool being able to travel back to California and see my brother and my dad's been there. My wife and Lennox have traveled with me and seen some friends. So it's been pretty dope. I like it. It's like a step into like doing that in the NBA. So we'll see if it continues. But I like it a lot.
That's what's up.
Let's bring it back here to Unrivaled. Obviously, you're here and your team is about to compete to go to the championship. But let's talk about the facilities here. Let's talk about what you guys have been able to build. A lot of people may not get an opportunity to get behind the scenes and behind the curtains as we have, just even today. How has that, helped you guys? How has the relationships grown, or, all the things because you guys have been here together for the last 2 months under one roof?
Yeah, I've been able to compete and play with people that I never thought I would compete and play with.
Yeah.
We got Angel, we have Ka, we got Slim, Lexi, and Nazare. And so it's been pretty cool to like see like what makes them successful on their teams, and how can I help them and make sure we're using that to our advantage here in this season. So that's been pretty cool, like on court and getting to know their habits and what makes them great. Off court, like being in a studio like this, like we're right here with Unrivaled, and you can do everything here. Like you want to do your podcast, you want to do a show, interviews is all right here. And so we're fortunate enough in Vegas to have a facility where everything is there.
Okay.
Right? You could do media there, you have your locker room, you have training staff, you can come back and get extra shots. And so we have that here as well. And then for games, there's a kids area, and you have nannies there. So you come in. I walked a tunnel with my guy one time, dropped him off with the nannies,
That's love.
and then pick him up afterwards.
Yeah.
And so my wife gets to enjoy the game rather than just like he's just like looking and like the lights, and it's like, oh, I see mommy, but like over here is the ball. So like it's been pretty cool to kind of have all of those things in one area, and to be able to experience an area that I normally wouldn't have really spent time in like that. Unless I'm coming out here for a vacation, but to actually live in a different area has been pretty cool.
What do you think is the biggest difference from being overseas versus spending this first season in Unrivaled?
One, you're playing against the best every single time out. You're playing three on three every single time out, and you can't hide whatsoever. You get to see family. Like so many people is like, oh yeah, my mom's coming to the game. Oh, yeah, I got siblings and family come to the game. And so overseas, that's not the case. You go 6 months, 7 months without seeing your people. That's hard. Yeah. FaceTime and doing all these things, it's tough. And so people that have kids, like they're in school or they're in daycare, they get to develop here. And you don't have that when you go overseas. Now, overseas has provided me the opportunity to travel and to compete against so many different people and meet so many different people, but man, it's taxing to go back and forth on your body and do it nonstop. Within the last like 3 to 4 years, you haven't seen as many, maybe 2 to 3, as many athletes going overseas all the time. When I first got in the league, he was like, you need to go overseas. Right. You're not gonna make it on that salary. Like you need to go overseas. Now having Unrivaled and then paying the money to be able to stay here, afford to stay here. Is great for our league and for the women.
And you played for, sorry about that, you played for Fenerbahce, right?
For a little bit. It was right before COVID. It was only like a month.
Okay, so you played for a big team, a EuroLeague team. Can you explain to them, because I was trying to tell them, because on the end of my career, I played 3 years in Europe. I played EuroLeague, and I was explaining how it was when we lost a game. And how it was like the end of the world to everybody. And I'm just like, yo, what the hell? I'm used to being in the league. Right. You lose a game, got one tomorrow. Move on. So can you just talk a little bit about that, the mental side of being a European player and how much pressure it is to win?
There's like 3 levels to it, right? One, when you lose a game in NBA, WNBA, it's like, all right, well, the great your coach will make this speech. Yeah, it's a tough one out there, guys, but the luxury of our schedule, we got another one tomorrow.
Thanks.
Or we got another one Tuesday. We're going to hop on a plane, get some recovery, and all right, let me tell you the conversation in Europe. What are we doing here? We might as well cancel the season. Yeah. I don't know about your checks.
Yeah, there you go. I forgot about that.
I don't know about you.
Yeah. I don't know about your checks. Yeah. We'll see after our game Saturday if money will hit your account. Mm-hmm. They don't play. The fans, I've seen a fire start in the stands. People outside hitting the bus because they mad you didn't win. It's crazy. They show a lot of love, but it's like there's a flip side to that as well.
No doubt.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about the checks.
Yeah, man. They
brought
play
us-
about your money.
Yeah,
They
you
brought
got
us in a huddle. This is when I played in Russia. I went to Lokomotiv, and they were paying everybody handsomely. A very wealthy team, and we wasn't.
Handsomely. Damn, that's a good way to put it.
So we were underperforming in the Euro. I went to Euro Cup. This the next year after Euro League, and they brought us to the middle. It's like, yeah, boss. They sent somebody else to. Boss is gonna fine everybody 50%. Excuse me. So I pulled him to the side and said, "Hey, bro, I didn't come here for 50% of nothing. So y'all got to figure something out. I'm out." And that's something right there. There's a lot of guys that's in Europe and don't get their money.
There's also like you come into a big game, and if y'all win this game, you get this much bonus. It's
Yeah,
not in your
bonus.
contract.
Nope.
Yeah.
They just want to add money to an extra fuel to the fire. People don't play about playing time and money. That's what Becky always said all the time: playing time, money,
Yep, facts.
and they don't play about it.
Yeah, so it's been. I mean, obviously we've heard reported that this is one of the highest leagues from women's sports when it comes to salaries. How has that been? Like, obviously with everyone being able to. How do you feel that the camaraderie? Like, it's just been with everybody understanding. Like, we get to compete against the best, but we also too have built something together. Like, y'all have done that together.
Yeah.
Right, to build a league that allows y'all to be able to say that, publicly, that this is one of the highest gross, leagues for women's sports.
A lot of, like, in this league, right? I've been in this thing for a while. WNBA is not enough to live the lifestyle I want, take care of my family, do
Yeah.
all the things, provide generational wealth, right? We talk about that all the time, especially in our community. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Unrivaled is at this pivotal point in allowing people to come here and make money that's now a vehicle to doing that and not going overseas. A lot of people didn't have this luxury. I didn't have this luxury when I first got into the league or my third year in the league, right?
Yeah.
It was different. It's different now because you got NIL, you got everything. Yeah. And so I didn't have that growing up and like coming up throughout the league. So now you're providing these opportunities for people to not have to do things for a month. Like before, you would be like, all right, what am I doing this month? What am I doing this week? Like I got to be able to figure out ways to make money. And so now Unrivaled is giving that opportunity and chance for people to breathe a little bit. That's what you want.
Take care of your body.
Take care of your body, take care of your family, everything.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What's the keys? All right, how do you get to the championship? How team rolls? How they gonna get to the championship? What's the key?
Ooh, if we get to the championship, I'm talking so much shit, y'all. I'm telling you, I don't talk shit until we win. Man, I got receipts.
Okay.
Just ready to post, ready to bring to media. How do we win, man?
How we get there?
Yeah. Offensively, we gotta make shots. Like 3-on-3, you gotta make shots. Like it's fast. If you got like 5 in a row misses, you better go down there and play D. You gotta make shots. 2, we got to be on point with like our concepts and our game plan, like not really veering off just because we've had like a few bad possessions or like they made tough shots. We got to make every shot tough. And 3, I think our communication and having fun with it is like a thing, like having fun doing it for the next person that you're with. It's a chemistry and a kind of a bond that you got to create kind of quickly because it's only 10 weeks.
Right.
And so you create it on the fly, different possessions. And so it's going to take those things. Obviously, you got the rebounding and getting over the screens and stuff, but I think those intangible things besides making shots are something to win.
Okay, we're going to be looking for that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I can't wait.
You can't wait. So last question for us is we want to get you out of here. We always take a moment, and like I said, we want to take a time out. We know that our job is to grow the game, right? When all of us at our levels we all try to give back to the game of basketball in some way. And, we know it's going to be a young Chelsea Gray out there that one day she wants to be in your position. Take a time out and give her something that she can hold on to, that she can look forward to, what she needs to do to one day be in this position and be the point guard.
Have faith in your journey. Everybody's journey is a little bit different. Mine to get to this point has been super different. I've had injuries. I've had ups and downs, not playing. Try to perfect your craft as much as possible. Make sure you have your circle around you that's tight. It's going to change. It's a revolving door, honestly. It's not going to be the same when you first get in the league versus not. But my arching kind of thing to my life has been, if you haven't seen a path, create your own. So I think I've been able to do that, and I encourage anybody that's trying to do that to do the same.
We love it. Chelsea Gray has been doubted. She's one of the greatest to play the game of basketball.
Thank
She's
you.
been doubted. Yeah. So that don't mean nobody's above it, but she has roles. Team roles. She has roles above it. Yeah. So shout out to you, Chelsea. Thanks for sitting down on the line.
Appreciate y'all. I had a good time talking conversation, you know, talking shit. Yeah. He got a silk on.
He got a silky.
Y'all hearing this silk out here in Miami?
Yeah.
You out here showing now with the silk on.
305.